Okay, so welcome back to the third of the videos for COMP3218 Game Design at University of Southampton. My name's Dave Millard. I'm sat here with
Ricky Prince,
Rachel Day,
and Tom Brown.
And we're going to look at 5 of the student games submitted for our first Expo event. Ricky, do you want to just quickly say what the point was for
Absolutely.
this first brief?
Yeah, so in this they had to build a game that exemplified one core dynamic and that everything built towards showing that off, and then a tutorial level or set of levels that taught the player how to play the game.
Okay, so let's take a look at our first game, which I think is The Plains of Dwayne.
Great name.
Which is a great name.
So I saw this in the Expo, and it's a sort of crafting, world exploration-y type game.
Okay.
I'm not sure how we click next on the
basics of survival.
So it's asking me to click the arrow button, but I don't have a mouse cursor, so I'm not quite sure how I click the... Anyone got any ideas how I get...
Oh, escape to unlock the mouse, it says in the window.
Oh, I see.
You're not reading the tutorial.
Who reads text?
Alright, you can look around using the mouse and move with... You can also use shift to sprint. You're fairly naked.
Yeah, that was my first observation when I saw it in the energy is used to perform.
So I think stylistically it's probably based off of a game called Rust, which
Your
starts
fatigue,
you off in a similar manner. It just puts you down in the wilderness.
With nothing.
Literally
nothing.
Recharging your energy.
Rust starts you with a rock.
If this fills up, you'll pass out. So I'm not quite sure why fatigue is different from energy.
You have energy and fatigue.
Yeah, I would have thought they're like related.
Yeah.
Related.
So on the bright side, they are highlighting the UI as they introduce these elements, which is nice.
Slow your energy
Yeah,
will recharge.
see that?
Maybe
Quite
it'd be nice if
complicated,
they
though.
only had if they literally just introduced them one at a time though,
This is
instead
your
of putting
food bar?
everything there straight away.
Yeah.
Wow. So...
These all seem very interrelated, but it's not explained how they're interrelated.
well, sort of. You'll take damage over time.
Water bar? Where did that come from? So many bars. Regenerate health in exchange for both this and food. Find a water source to drink.
Okay.
So food and water I get, health I get. I'm not sure about the difference between stamina and fatigue.
Yeah.
No.
Is one just sprinting and one...
Find water.
I don't know.
So it just ticks down, so you've basically just got to try and stay alive for as long as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely a survival game. Do you just press escape to lock the mouse again?
You appear to be able to dance. Where's the... Right, go and find some water.
I'm trying, man.
Again, there's no
Try
real
harder.
guidance, so maybe because it's sort of still in tutorial mode, like an arrow or something sort of pointing towards the nearest body of water would be good. I think
There's
is
something.
that one? That looks like one.
I fear this is one of those situations of, oh, but it's obvious where the water is. Can't you see that pixel in the corner?
There we go. Right.
Alright, you're in the water now.
I'm totally in the water. Open my inventory
Still
with
thirsty though.
I have to use, or do I have to quit? Oh, click use.
So it says select the water and click use to refill. You have to select the water first.
How? Oh, I see.
Click on the water.
Right.
Use.
And you can't equip them. That makes sense.
Why wouldn't it let me use more water?
And then click use to refill some of your water bar.
So I would have thought
So
that
that's
would
not
refill the
working.
canteen.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
So you're clicking you. Hang on, you're getting null reference exceptions.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So bugs. Okay.
So it looks like a bug. Okay.
Notice the canteen I have.
If
So like
in the crafting menu.
Like there's quite a lot of text to be reading, and I feel like the keywords in it aren't like jumping out, like some bolding or just some colour changes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to like, what I want to see here is canteen and inventory.
I guess. Yeah.
Open the crafting menu with you. Why is the crafting menu you?
Because it begins with you.
Canteen water.
Empty. Hit craft. Now you have water.
Cool. Can you drink from that? Or is that gonna... Hooray!
Yay!
You're still in the water drinking from a canteen of water.
Right, how do I close this? I to close? Find a
Objective,
rock.
Find a rock.
Okay, again, where are rocks?
You need to build tools to survive, to gather rocks to use as a makeshift tool. Okay.
Right, so if you open your inventory
see.
when you're next to that rock.
I've got one.
There's the rocks on the floor.
Dwayne. You've got 6 Dwayne. 8 Dwaynes, 10 Dwaynes.
9
Oh,
Dwaynes.
hang on, I get it.
Oh, the rock.
The
I
rock.
see. Yeah.
Right, let's equip a rock.
Plains of Dwayne.
Okay, so if we equip, try hitting a tree and break off and gather some sticks.
So yeah, it's definitely heavily influenced by things like Rust and Minecraft.
Right.
But
so you're hitting a tree.
And I will say this for it, it's got more tutorials than Minecraft or Rust.
Yeah.
So are you gathering? Hang
Am
on,
I close enough?
your
to that
stamina
tree?
and your fatigue bars are changing.
Yeah, because I'm doing energy to
So is
try
one
and hit this tree.
So is one of them like when you attack, and one of them is when you sprint?
It's I don't know.
So like, it feels to me.
With some sticks
I still don't know what they're doing. And it feels like they could be combined into one bar. So hang on, if
It's
like,
that.
I also don't feel yet like we're in a game. We're being talked through a series of interactions, but we're not yet in the. We're not being encouraged to balance anything or to. You know, what sort of choices do we have? You know.
There's more null references at the bottom. Maybe it's another bug.
So there's some more bugs and things.
what happens if you open your inventory next to it? Or maybe the
Any of the sticks arrived?
No.
Yeah, got a stick by attacking a tree.
Did it work in the expert?
Yeah,
It did.
it did, but don't know what's going on here.
Do you want to try the we're in the Unity version because the WebGL version was being really slow.
Yeah,
Is
we
it
could
worth
try.
giving that a quick go?
Yeah, could do. Let's stop. Oh.
We'll try that version. So yeah, I would have perhaps have expected for them to use these activities to point out some of the relationships between things and to kind of give me something very early on to balance. I mean, it may be that we haven't quite got to that yet, but
yeah. So like so it did say like drink the water to refill your water bar, but it never sort of pointed out that now look at your water bar, it's gone up. It has refilled it by this amount and things like that.
Oh
yeah, this build doesn't.
this is.
I just fear there's a lot of dynamics. A lot of mechanics in this, but like, what's my purpose? Like,
It
what
feels
am I?
like they could have stripped a lot of this out and focused on just sort of one of these key mechanics, because like they're going for survival, right? The idea is you've got to survive for as long as you can, and it feels like they could have sort of focused on just one of these things.
Like, we haven't seen it yet, Dave, but there's a crafting mechanic in it as well. Like, it wants us to build an axe out of sticks and rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, why? Like, why is there a crafting mechanic in here when, like, it's not even quite clear how I'm surviving without that? Or like, what's really going on? Like, it's a very, very complex game that hasn't even quite polished the base of the game. Like, as Tom said, you could survive by just having a pickup mechanic where you run around and you pick up food and pick up water. Like, it can just be like in bottles on the floor and in food chunks on the floor, and then you've got a survival game.
Yeah.
And you just have to, like, you then balance the amount of those resources against the difficulty of finding them, and then you've got that. Once you've got that, then you might allow the player to level up by collecting things and crafting them to build something that helps them find that quicker. But then the game needs to get harder at the same time. But
also, I'm wondering what this presentation of the world brings to it. Right? If you've got something which is essentially about balancing these numbers, then perhaps a more stylized, simple 2D presentation would be more effective and less kind of distracting, because you've got so much going on.
yeah, right, I've done that.
Right, so
Can I get out of the water?
yeah, the WebGL version is not happy, is it?
Importantly, the water looks nice.
Yeah, definitely a nice water effect.
So yeah, I don't think they've really done the right steps to emphasise the survival.
They've definitely
It's in there somewhere.
They've definitely had a lot of good ideas, but I think they need to scale some of them back a little bit and sort of focus on, like you say, that sort of one key thing. Just get that one bit of game working. Whereas pick up stuff
Yeah, it's what is the meaningful choice? What is the balance?
I'm out.
You know, we're talking about meaningful play. Seeming to pick up a rock, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just been. Oh, I quit the tutorial because I thought it was slowing me down. Where are my rocks? Like, it's difficult to tell whether we would have got into something gamey after the tutorial.
Yeah,
We just struggle to get past it.
Enemies
But
and things.
Can you open the crafting menu just to have a look at the sort of things we could craft? Because there's can you click on any of them, or do they not select if you? So we've got a basic hand axe. Again, it doesn't tell me what that does or why that's useful. Again, campfire. I don't know what that's good for.
maybe it gets dark.
Yeah, it should tell you in terms of the numbers.
It says like it makes you nice and warm, but we don't have a warmth bar. I don't know why it's important to be warm. Yeah. The same with the tent. Well,
at very least, it should tell you in terms of those 5 variables what the effect of these things would be, and what the cost of it is going to be, if any.
I mean, it tells you the cost in like terms of the resources, but you're right. It doesn't tell you then. Like, now that I've got this thing, what does it do?
And also what the overall goal is. So, a survival game is you know, it should have a point beyond the kind of raw.
Yeah, in
survival.
In development, they said you were trying to get to a village or something. I think they said.
They definitely talked about they wanted an overworld map. They wanted to sort of move between different locations.
There's a thing over there moving. Is that the whale?
There is a thing moving. We move towards the thing. It's going to take us a while. Is there a run? I can't remember. Is it shift? I think. Is it left shift?
I think it's only left shift.
There's things on the horizon.
Is it just scenery that's not quite popping in yet?
It might be.
So what else do we need to discuss about this?
It looks like those whales.
The tutorial's kind of nice, isn't it?
It is. They are whales.
They are whales. Land whales.
They are whales.
Interesting.
The tutorial's tidy, isn't it? Like it sort of leads you through the steps. There's just, for a game that's meant to be a short prototype to like whet your appetite as to the game, there's just so many things to tell the player about.
Yeah.
That a tutorial just like has stopped us getting into the game, but
it is a land whale. I wish there was marks for land whales now.
Right. Punch the whale, see what you get.
Yeah, so I can see what they're trying to do, but it feels overly ambitious.
That's like they're trying to reproduce like games that have spent years and years in development when they're supposed to be doing just a very small prototype.
3 weeks.
Yeah. And I think something where you're balancing multiple variables. It doesn't need to be a big open 3D world. That's not what the point of the game is. The point of the game is that this kind of puzzle element, collecting resources, deciding how to utilise those resources, trying to balance kind of incoming and outgoing points, whatever that might be.
And doing that bit against the clock, like if there is a tick of health down over time.
Yeah. They just haven't quite managed to get that. But in fairness to them, I think it's a really difficult game to get right, because you have to balance it, and to get that, and to find a balance that will move as the player develops and gets more skilled and gets more equipment, is really, really hard. It's probably one of the most difficult things to do.
Yeah. And you've got to do it bit by bit. Like, you can't put 8 mechanics in and then go, right, I'm going to balance it. Like, you've got to start with that first one and get that right, and then you've got to build on it. So let's talk about the various bits. So in terms of the quality, bugs, control smoothly, mechanics, how well presented is it?
So I mean, you're obviously able to control it. There were some bugs there in the tutorial, but it may well just be the build that we have. Yeah. I mean, it looks fun.
There's also whales flying over the land.
There are whales, yes. So it functions. It works. You can play it. Core dynamic, presumably it's survival. That's what they're going for.
Yeah.
And how well do the mechanics support the core dynamic? So what are the mechanics? Kind of picking stuff up, crafting stuff.
I mean, so it's told us how to like gather water and how to make an axe. I don't know how that translates into gathering food. Presumably we have to go and hunt one of those whales.
Yeah, it'll be hunting some food.
So, but it should tell us some of this stuff in the description for the crafting, right? So, a hand axe would let you do X, Y, Z.
I think we probably would have got to that in the tutorial,
Yeah,
but
I guess.
the tutorial's taking a long time.
And what about the level design? So, how effective is the
last thing
design?
on mechanics. I don't think resources aren't going away anywhere.
No,
So-
health and food and hunger are both ticking down.
Are they? Okay, it's quite slow, so it doesn't feel. I don't feel under a lot of
Gradual
pressure at the
process.
moment
No.
to survive. So it's probably lacking a bit of balance in that at least.
Yeah. So, in terms of level design and teaching you the game, I mean, the tutorial looks like it's quite hand-holdy, but kind of takes you through some quite complex stuff.
So it does highlight the key bit of the UI that it's talking about, which is
nice,
good.
Yeah, good practice.
But I still think that there's a little bit of information design problem in that the things you are proposing to do, it doesn't actually tell you what impact they will have in terms of the values you have in front of you. Like you said, nice warm campfire. Okay, what does that mean? So if it said nice warm campfire, energy will be energy recuperation +1 or something.
Yeah.
Then it would kind of tell you some of those effects.
Yeah. Other thing in level design, like this has fallen foul of the let's make an
Big
infinitely
open
big
world
plane in Unity and put loads of trees and grass in it. It's just like it's not like there's not a lot of design to that. Like there might be, but it's just too big to perceive without spending hours.
Again, right, if your tutorial says now go to the lake, I didn't design your game world, I don't know where the lake is, put me in the right direction somehow.
Exactly. So to be fair, we did start on a hill and it was like you could pan
see
around.
it, and actually you could see the lake from the top of the hill.
But sort of is it clear that I should do that before I start moving? Yeah. And if I've got to the bottom of the hill already, then I'm lost and do I go back to the hill top?
Yeah, sure. Maybe that part maybe was sort of like intentional
design. That was thought, yeah.
So really, a kind of something that's overly ambitious, both in terms of how it tries to deliver the game that it's got, but even within the mechanics of the survival game itself, is kind of perhaps too much going on, just a bit too complex to perceive the game, really. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Right. Okay. So our next game is the imaginatively entitled generic tank platformer. So
who saw this one?
I was talking about this earlier.
Did I see this one?
Tank platformers are that generic of a concept. I think that's kind of like interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So perhaps unusual tank platformer would have been.
Plank platformer.
Yeah.
Did anyone else see this, or was it me?
Space to jump.
I've not seen it, no.
Okay, it must have been me.
Okay.
That's quite nice. Other than so the platforms moving away there were a little bit annoying.
Platforms don't stand out especially well against that background.
Yeah.
Some buttons can impact the environment and move walls.
Maybe I should have got someone else to
I
play
quite like
this.
the text appearing on the floor. It's kind of
There's actually some quite nice level design of the layout of things here.
So the little health bars are nice as well.
On the tank.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I asked the group about information design, and they didn't really seem that sure that they'd done any. And I was like, you've got some lovely those little health bars on the things. A great way of linking the state of those doodahs, those enemies.
Platforms on the level. Let's go to the next level.
Enter.
Was that the tutorial?
That was the tutorial.
Checkpoint.
Oh, they've introduced checkpoints as well.
Yeah, the whole kind of symbols on the ground, and then putting the writing on the ground, and that's really quite nice actually.
Come back. I was like, if that's gone forever, I'm going to be a bit sad.
Little jumpy tank.
I feel like the platforms could probably pause at each end just a little bit, just to give a bit of a chance to move. What do you guys reckon the core dynamic of this is?
I mean, there's elements of destruction in it. I don't know whether that's the core mechanic.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot of tanks there.
But again, what's your objective?
Right. Ooh.
I think you're just trying to get to the end of the level, aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't think you have to.
Almost race to the end, right?
Yeah.
You're racing there before you're destroyed. But it looks definitely hard to get through this bit without sort of actually destroying
Again,
those enemies.
I'm wondering whether the problem here is they haven't focused enough on a core
Oh,
dynamic.
that one's still dead. That was lucky. Oh, where did that come from? Oh, Oh, I wonder if this is a bug or if this is intentional. Why are they all still dead?
So you can imagine a game where the job was to try and figure your way through in such a way that you could actually get to the end, and that would be more like a sort of spatial puzzle type thing.
Where do I get more ammo?
Something something where
You
the
can run
point
out
of the
of
game
ammo.
was to destroy all the other tanks. That would be destruction.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've got some again.
Something where the point was to go and find things in the landscape. That would be collection. But they just, you know, they're mixed up here.
Not quite all or any of them.
There's that moving platform there on the sort of.
Yeah, they're the ones that have like gone down. Okay. It's just like a slightly clunky way of doing that. Like it's quite engaging and quite fun. It's quite.
Well, the basic mechanic of shooting at other tanks is actually quite nice, isn't
it?
Yeah. The ways the little shells arc.
Yeah.
And kind of. Because you're not firing in a direction. Are you actually firing at a spot? So
yeah, wherever you click.
If you click nearer to you, does it?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what makes it satisfying, isn't it? You're actually.
You reckon?
I think so. That's one of the things.
So is it? Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell if it's I think the precision is what makes it satisfying. Like if it does it take away some of the skill though?
I mean, it still seems quite hard.
Yeah. Like it's well balanced in that sense.
Yeah.
So what did that green thing you just went over do?
That?
Yeah, that button.
I don't know. Set these moving maybe?
So there's a little bit of a...
Oh no!
So it's the checkpoint.
Like there seems to be a little bit of like information scarcity about exactly... So the checkpoints, I understand, like they have a little symbol of a tank.
But the buttons aren't linked to any...
Yeah.
It would almost be nice if there was a line coming out from the button
Yeah.
that went to the thing that it affected or something that kind of...
So again, see that one there, I know that's a checkpoint because it's got that symbol of the tank that I recognise, but...
Oh, okay. So even something which said this is the type of button, this is a door opening button or a platform moving button or...
Well, like you say, just align to it, right? That's interesting. What's that?
That's that one.
So we've never seen a tank of our own colour before.
Oh no!
Okay.
So
it's a warning to road.
It's giving you a clue that this massive tank is about to appear.
Yeah, that's good. Oh no, he's still...
that's a bit mean.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Like leaving everything in the previous state. When
the level should reset, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
The button should.
Do I even have the firepower to take this dude on?
His
Yeah.
has
It had 3 rings before.
Unfortunately, he has the firepower to kill you
Of course, yeah. Because everything stays at the previous state.
So you can just whittle away at it, which I'm not sure is fantastic design because it means as
No.
long as you get one shot on them like each time you respawn, then it sort of takes away the challenge.
Let's finish this one on.
I think that
Okay, so in terms of quality, then, in terms of there don't appear to be any bugs. It seems to
it's
work
quite
okay.
nice.
Controls are
quite
quite
nice,
fun.
I mean, like
working well.
there's some bits of polish that could be done, like when the walls that are in the way sort of slide down and they just sort of float there.
Yeah.
Some of the platform, like there's a little bit of a
Yeah.
jumping the platforms in an isometric angle doesn't quite feel right. I
Yeah,
think
there
it
are
just
definitely
needs a bit of,
some of the angles.
Yeah, it's a funny angle actually, isn't it? Your
And
camera
do
view
I-
is in a funny position.
but it's nice. Like stylistically, it works, but it's just makes it hard to judge the jumps, and maybe my jumps should just be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Like the precision isn't important here, so give me a ridiculously bouncy tank. Like if I jump like 40 foot in the air and like boing, like it's going to be fun, and like none of this is sort of like it's a jumping tank. That's not realistic anyway. So why bother?
So if there's a problem here, it seems to be perhaps the dynamics, that there's kind of all the core dynamic. Because it's not clear to me what it is, and again, it just seems to be this melange of different ideas.
So what did they say when you were talking to them in the expo?
In terms of what? Like, ask me a question, Tom.
What core dynamic did they sort of think they were trying to?
Oh, almost certainly all of them. Where are we?
Of all of them, it feels most like destruction.
Yeah, they said destruction.
But it just doesn't.
But the goal isn't to destroy the other tanks.
No,
the goal is to
that's
get to the end of the level.
Yeah.
I think they did think about it because they did ask. I remember them asking during development if you could have more than one dynamic, but we said absolutely. But one of them is going to be core.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sort of pick that and make that the main thing.
Yeah.
If you couldn't progress without killing all the things or destroying all the tanks, I think that would lead you more to a destruction mechanic.
But again, it's the destruction. Do the other mechanics feed into the destruction dynamic? So there isn't anything here where you get better at destroying things, for example, or that that kind of destruction.
It's not like so. The other thing is like if they had sort of moving platforms that moved sort of. What's the word? Sort of perpendicular to the things that you could use as cover and things like that, and sort of emphasize this sort of ducking and dodging and sort of actually being focused on destroying things.
So there's a sort of scarcity of mechanics really. So okay, but I mean you're still getting meaningful play. It's still quite fun. I mean, perhaps because actually that the main mechanic I think, which is that shooting, that just looks like fun.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really satisfying.
Just a couple of little touches, like you say, the way like the shell sort of arc and the way you get that little sort of explosion on impact makes it.
Feedback's lovely.
Yeah, that's very nice. And the level design in terms of so we've already said that there's some nice stuff going on with the information stuff. But what about the level design itself and the tutorial bit at the beginning?
I'm trying to remember what the tutorial was. It seems
tutorial was quite nice. It had a lot of like positional things where you sort of had to follow the way around. Do you want me to go back and
let's have another quick look.
Can I get back to that? I might have to complete the game.
So it just gave you, I mean, again, it gave you instructions, but then the instructions were things you then had to execute. So it was linked quite
there were some positional cues as well, like you couldn't go other than where it wanted you to. You had to pretty much go over the buttons to trigger them.
But then why not trust that? So again, one of the problems we've had, I think, is that an over-reliance on text.
Yeah, so like you're in this little locked area, you can only go around here, you can either fall off or you can go over to this button.
So like why...
Even though it says interact with the environment, it doesn't tell me what any of these buttons are going to do.
So why bother, right? So if you'd started off and it had WASD written on the floor, right, so to help you to move, that's probably all it needs to do. Because as you explore that environment naturally, you're going to move on to that button and realise what the button does. Yeah. And you're going to make some of these links together. So some buttons can impact the environment. You don't need to tell them that because they can see it. Yeah. So actually, I think that they've...
and they can see that because the tank's already just fired at you.
So I think they've sort of sold themselves a bit short here. They didn't need any of this text. They've actually done quite a nice job of designing a little tutorial level.
But if they were going to use text, I think they've done that in quite a nice way, having it written on the floor.
And putting it in the environment. Yeah.
It's not too arduous to read either. Like you're not under too much pressure to do something, and it's quite clear text.
So nice little fun game, I think.
That's exactly.
Okay, let's move on. Right, and our next game is Tank Racing, which I'm guessing is fairly self-explanatory. So
it's a 2-player racing game.
Okay, the turning is quite responsive.
So it is.
Wow. Wow. Oh, it reminds me.
So they've got a 2-player tutorial, and I think it.
Micro Machines. You're going to say Micro Machines?
No, there's some much sort of older games than that, which are they're kind of like flying planes around in the sky.
Oh, okay.
Can you shoot?
You can.
What?
Because presumably you're tanks. Yeah.
Okay, so it is control on the left to shoot.
I can't really see your blue tank very well on that background. I'll be honest.
No, it's quite difficult, isn't it?
So they did.
It's just,
so
the turning's just a little bit
I want
too.
to see somebody fire. Oh my god!
For the size of tank this is much.
So
I think that's good. You can see it's very obvious where your bullets are going, right?
So the shooting slows down the other opponent.
Which you need because you're so slow.
I really do.
So it just slows them down. It doesn't actually.
This needs the Benny Hill music playing along to Rachel trying to navigate.
Gates with the opposite colour will slow you down. Try to shoot the box next to the gate.
Yeah, so if you can manage to turn to aim at it properly, you can shoot. So if I shoot mine, I think it activates it. If I shoot theirs, it deactivates it.
Right. It'll disable or re-enable. Okay, got it. But actually, going through the gate doesn't slow you down that much.
No.
It certainly doesn't slow you down as much as trying to shoot the gate.
Yeah, the controls are just really difficult to get to because I need to WASD with my left hand, but controls underneath me I could do with having.
Right, gotcha.
Please
So
don't
you-
restart
this
the
is the
tutorial.
menu. I thought this was a level. That needs to be clearer.
That's nice though. I like that. Right, race.
Which way are we going?
So I wouldn't mind betting that the way to. Oh no, it does slow you down quite a lot actually. But I still think the way to
Oh no, this is a disaster.
the way to succeed.
I
is probably,
can't shoot because if I
I
control
wouldn't
and you
bother.
press left
Just-
at the same time.
just try to get to the end.
Uh-oh.
I think that's got to be the fastest way of doing it. I would say this game is one that probably suffers from that dominant strategy, basically, which is just ignore all the obstacles.
So I did ask them about this, and they said that the person who's ahead will probably try and slow down to shoot to reactivate their colour.
Hang on, that word probably. Did they test
Well,
it?
they said that you could do that, but then you take the risk of you've got to slow down to try and shoot
Yeah.
at it. When I saw them playing it, it seemed to be if you got in the lead, you stay in the lead. But they said when they'd been playing it, once they both practiced, that they were kind
Right.
of...
It looks to me like the main thing that will stop your main problem is getting around the course without banging into things.
Well, there's a race to the end, so that should be.
And actually messing around with the obstacles just causes you delay. Because a lot of games like this, the way that you interact while you're racing is very simplistic, isn't it? You know, you drop a mine,
Yeah.
you go across a power up to speed you up, that kind of stuff. The idea that you have to aim and shoot to do things, it just seems to me like
Especially
it's
given how
too
twitchy
tough.
the turning controls
Yeah.
seem to be.
which I think is fine for I think having twitchy turning for a race is fine.
Almost laps you.
But when you
Well
link
played,
it
well
together
played.
with the firing,
Okay, so should we
yeah.
assess
So
it?
so go on. So in terms of quality, then, so no bugs. Looks like it works fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Controls-
works fine. If
controls
if
right?
the steering was intended to be that way, then yeah, it works fine.
But I think the steering works
Yeah.
fine for the racing.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But it doesn't work fine for
When
the
you're-
shooting.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I think kind of if they'd had a more simple kind of way of interacting when you're going around, it probably would have worked fine. It's well presented, yes. Simple, straightforward, but yeah, I think it's
What
nice.
tends to work?
Okay, what about the dynamics then?
The race is there, like it's
Yeah.
definitely a race to the end,
yeah.
and it has a fairly interesting route to go through. Like it's a bit mazy, and that like provides the right amount of challenge.
And I think it's an interesting choice that when you shoot the other person, it slows them down, which definitely contributes to that race to the end
Yeah.
dynamic,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
rather than distract you with something else.
Yeah,
So I think that's a good call, actually.
agreed. Yeah.
And most of those mechanics fit that well. I said apart from, I think that the shooting is probably a bit fiddly.
Yeah.
And you were definitely, I mean, you know, you definitely were playing, definitely having a race.
And it just
yeah.
goes to show how simple it can be. Like
Yes.
race to the end. Just have a thing where it's not trivial to move,
Yes.
and you have to get to the end faster than the other person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
then you've got race to the end, and you add the element of there's a way of interaction between the two
Bit of
players, so it's
obstacles
not
and things and-
just like who is playing fastest is
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
who has this other skill to try and balance it, and you've just got a straightforward.
And the level design was pretty effective. So you had some nice levels to teach you the various bits.
Yeah.
They used the level for the choice as well, which I know you objected to. But
I thought it was a
quite
race.
cute.
I thought we'd started racing.
I thought that was good. I like that. You know,
They
I like the use
definitely
of that.
thought about the level design because they were saying when they introduce shooting, they start both the players facing each
Yes,
other.
yeah, they
can't
did,
move
didn't
and
they?
shoot.
You're right. So like a sort of face-off type thing going on
Yeah.
to encourage you to actually shoot at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the level and the tutorial element was there as well, wasn't it? Like I said, it kind of
Yeah.
built it on. So yeah, I think kind of simple but effective, rather good. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Well done, guys.
Okay,
Move on.
let's go to the next game. Right, so our next game is Mr. Banker.
I saw this one in the expo. Do you want to play? Do you
Wow.
want to play,
What
Rachel?
is- what
Yeah.
Um,
okay.
Yeah. So this is a sort of tower defense game. I'll try the tutorial first.
Welcome back,
Oh, wow.
Mr. Banker.
Where
You're
I
once
can't
again.
quite
There's
remember
a
the
bunch of
theme.
people asking you.
Crush them in.
It's
Sure you
it's
do.
a money banking based theme tower defense.
Build law forms to threaten them and PR companies to bribe them.
Oh, hang on, what?
Drop a
So,
bomb to blow
so
them up.
basically, it's tower defense, but reimagined in the Fallout from 2008.
Right.
So hang on, what does threatening them and bribing them mean? That's
I guess we'll see.
Defend your base here. That's nice. Your creditor comes this way.
Okay.
Actually showing you in the map. That's good.
Okay, my creditor's
Here
coming.
come the creditors.
Law firm and PR find the creditor. Each threat would.
So it sort of fires gold at them as the enemies, as the creeps get close by. See, like that.
Slow the damage when
Slow
touched
damage
to PR or firm.
But also they just walk through your buildings,
Goes
which
That's a
mad.
bit strange. So
right.
creditor goes mad on red track.
Press Q to build.
It's lost me at this
Law.
point.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
So it
Great
drops your.
more-
What
great
can you
more-
actually do
I
then? What's
can't.
your?
So
Your control is that you drop the buildings.
Yeah,
What, just,
so
but just in the path. Or
yeah,
Or does it drop it where your
it
mouse
says
touches?
at your
Drops where the
cursor,
mouse is.
but it seems.
But they
Oh, to
to
drop a
bomb
bomb
cost much money.
Ooh.
they said to me that you wouldn't do
So I
anything.
can drop it over there.
You wouldn't do anything other than drop it on the path because it slows them down.
So hang on, just put down like as many buildings as you can. Just spam like Q.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like put down a bunch for me. Just I wanted to see something.
Oh, they have a time.
Oh yeah, you've got a cool off on the right hand side.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was wondering if they cost money or is money like your ammo? Because your buildings are spraying money at them and your money is going down. Does that mean I can build fewer buildings? Because if so, that's quite a nice mechanic. I kind of like that.
No, it doesn't
Yeah.
look like it. It
It
looks like
doesn't-
you just have a cool
Yeah,
off
it
for
doesn't look
building
like they
buildings.
cost anything.
I think that's a shame.
Well, hang on, so
Yeah.
there's an implicit cost that as you put a building down, it's going to spurt more money out.
Yeah, true.
I think they claim that the obvious thing to do is to put buildings on the path because that also slows them down because they collide with them. But then
I'm gaining
Then they
money.
destroy the buildings.
well, no, not that. But they on their demo levels, on their tutorial levels, they don't put any of the buildings on the path. They put
Yeah.
them in the sides of the path, like you would
Yeah.
with a tower defense game.
So do these ones make money? These blue ones? Because I'm gaining money really
See,
quickly.
I still don't have a. I'm only watching this, right? And I don't have a clue.
Like
what's
my
going
money's
on.
tripled since we
Yeah.
started talking about.
So what
being
gets
implicit
so
cost.
so
Keep
what
playing.
gets you money?
I think building these blue ones seem no. Yeah, the blue ones seem to.
Well,
Something's
They
getting me
said-
money
They
anyway.
said something.
Something
fires
bribes
five,
them
but
and something-
fires 10 of them.
What's it?
Oh.
The other instructions were
Well, I don't know where I'm
threaten
getting
them
money
and bribe
then.
them.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that translates to this.
I still don't understand what.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So
it's
you have a
bribe
amount of
them.
money. So when the buildings fire, your money goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
something in
But
the
something's
last one,
making it go
something
up.
is making it go up.
Maybe
as well.
just killing the guys is making it
Oh
go
yeah,
up.
maybe killing them is making it go up.
Is
Which
it
is
killing
odd.
them
Well,
with money,
I-
making them go away?
There definitely seems to be a balancing issue.
I
Not
kinda-
so much
I-
right now.
So I like the idea.
No more buildings, more buildings.
I like the idea of taking tower defense and playing around with
Retheming
it
it.
Oh no.
and just retheming it, but then again
Build more
trying
buildings,
to
more
I
buildings.
can't. They
Use
have a
use the
timeout.
bomb.
trying to do
Oh,
something
yeah,
with that,
could've
like
done
linking
that.
together your income and outgoings and that kind of that
Yeah.
all makes kind of sense. But this is just
Just spam buildings, just have hundreds of buildings.
The fact that buildings
Not
fall
over
over is-
there. Right, why the building's falling over?
I don't understand why are you allowed to drop them on the track anyway? What's wrong with the normal?
Because it slows them down.
What's wrong
I
with the normal?
I
tower
get the
defense
feeling,
things?
Dave, that was they didn't quite develop the bit to put them in specific places or stop you dropping it on the path. So it
And
became
they
a
still-
feature rather than a bug.
And they still work even when they're on their side, right?
Yes, it still work when they're on the side.
I like the way the money sort of flies out of the screen.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's chaos though. What's going on?
So I think in terms of having meaningful play,
I don't understand where your money goes up though. That's what goes.
no.
It's gone up a lot.
It must be when they don't. Oh yeah, when you drop the bomb on them, it went up loads.
So when you kill
When they-
them, I guess.
Yeah, when
so
they,
maybe
when
it's
they don't get to your headquarters.
maybe it's a balancing issue, and they should give you less money than they do.
But
I should
see,
not
yeah.
be firing out that
That's
much
another
money
idea.
and gaining money.
But again, I'd have thought the way to do this would be to start off with a basic idea, which is that you have money. When the peeps reach you, you lose money, and you can build some kind of buildings, and the buildings cost you money, and they might
know
even
what
cost
I'm
money
building.
to act or something. But
Oh no, they're falling off the world! Where's my mouse gone?
It's over there.
yeah, this is chaos.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, let's run through some of the things here. So, are there any bugs? No idea.
Yes, I think it's full of bugs, and they've just passed them off as features. I'm afraid. It definitely feels like, oh yeah,
Does the game control
get
smoothly?
The controls are.
I mean, the controls are simple.
Reasonable.
I think you need a reticule on the mouse just to make it like. There's a lot going on, and seeing the mouse cursor.
There's also a reason why in a lot of these things you click on the thing you want to place and then click where you play to place it. It makes it a much more deliberate action than sort of accidentally dropping things. Well presented. Well.
There's a lot of like incoherent things here.
Yeah. The information design's all over the place, isn't it?
I just mean like that stylistically. Like, why do they start in a van? And then why do they follow a green line? Like, I don't understand the green line and the red line. The buildings sort of make sense. They look like different buildings.
The red line is like a fast zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, once they get there, they're just there. Like, there's nothing you can
really
do once you're on
as
there.
well to put like the fast zone
Right next to
it. Yeah.
You put it in the middle where there's
I don't think that's it. I think once you're on the red zone, that's it. Like, they've got to your place.
I think
so,
what
like,
I find
why isn't it just out of place?
I think what I find frustrating here is that there's the C here, a really interesting game, right? Which is a tower defense game all based around money, where the stuff that you actually fire in order to stop your opponents is the same as what you're trying to preserve.
But that's not what they've gone for here.
But it's not what they've gone for. Dynamic. What do you think the core dynamic is here?
Confusion.
I mean, it's
Hang on, let's... Destruction.
Well, yeah, but if it's tower defense, it should be more of a spatial.
Yeah.
It's not though, because you can put them
Because you can go
anywhere. You don't have to plan anything. You can stack them on top of each other. I'm sure.
So there's no kind of planning. There's no, and again, tower defense is traditionally about creating paths. That's part of the whole thing, and creating routes which suit the buildings you've placed down by those routes.
The pacing's sort of a bit off as well, right? Because tower defense, there's normally like a set time between the waves where you can sort of place your buildings. Like you say, reason about where you want people to go and things. But this is just sort of.
So you want to go through these phases, don't you, of planning and then reacting, planning and then reacting. Yeah.
So to quote them in the expo, their one core dynamic was survival and collecting and building.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem.
Cause of the problem here.
Yeah. So I mean, and in this case, I don't even think you've got meaningful play. I just
you don't have any choices.
You've got
you just
no
spam.
real
All you do is
choices.
spam everything as soon as it's ready.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you place it. So all you're doing is pressing those three buttons, basically, just constantly.
Yeah.
So and the level design in terms of the tutorial and those kind of elements.
I still don't understand what's going on. I don't. The tutorial was.
It was nicely paced and it delivered information at the right rate. I just don't think it delivered the right information.
It wasn't very well explained.
Too much of this is abstract from reality to
absolutely
rely on just me assuming what's going on.
Like, oh, this building threatens them and this building bribes them. When what happens when you put them down is they both spew money up.
Yeah.
And there's no cue to help you understand which building's which. So like the PR firms or whatever it is, they appear to be sheds. And the banks are just kind of tenement buildings.
The PR sheds.
The PR sheds. Yeah, absolutely. Where all the marketing people go. So the seed of a good idea, but just the execution is all over the place, I think. So it's a shame. But all right, let's move on. Okay, and our final game, final game for this video is Cubezoid, which is one I played in the expo, and is quite mind-bending and can take quite a while to play.
Strategically in 3 dimensions and 5 directions to outwit your opponent and get 4 of your colour in a row.
It's marginally more confusing to explain than to actually play.
Use C and X, those regular buttons for moving between pages, to navigate these pages.
So let's go through.
Camera controls.
So unfortunately, this is one where they do a bit too much telling.
It's just text done.
Is this the tutorial? These pages at the bottom.
It's the menu screen and the tutorial. Yeah.
Right. Remember R. We need to reset with R. Yeah, well, that's all the placement blocks. Blocks will roll before appearing on the board.
Yeah. again,
have them
so
wrong,
part of the problem is that having played this game, I now understand what this is talking about, but without having it, without seeing
this
it,
is just a menu screen with
it
a
doesn't
floating
mean
board.
anything.
I thought from the first sort of square of this
Four
tutorial,
pushes
I thought it was
right.
like 3-dimensional Connect 4 or something.
5 directions.
But now it's talking about rolling things, and I don't
No,
know how that.
it sort of is. It's basically Connect 4, but you can
stack
connect
them?
4 in any of the dimensions and vertically. Right. So the problem was, so when I played this game, I read the tutorial, didn't understand it. I watched them play a game, didn't understand it. It's only when I watched them play a game and someone explained it at the same time that I understood it. And it's a perfect example of where you desperately need to show people, right?
Because like that bit there, it just says
because at the moment
the gold disc. And it's like that is just such an easy thing that you can just place on the screen.
Is it a bit like 3D Connect 4?
Let's play it. I'll play with two players.
I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Not 3 players.
We can try that if we have time, but
That's all there is to
it. do you remember those 7 pages of text?
Yeah.
So I do wonder whether we put students through too many exams that require memorization, and therefore they're just like, oh, players can.
They're just brilliant at memorizing things.
Okay, were there any things in that tutorial that told you how to start the game?
Oh no!
No, you could toggle the thing with. Was it?
Oh, there it
I'm
is.
in. Then what?
Space H. Red player's turn.
I'm the red player.
So I think you use the
the
WASD.
box.
So basically, the block you're controlling has the gold disc on it. Each person takes a turn to place a block.
In which
you can
direction
rotate?
am I making?
You can rotate the block. I think with Q and E. Is it?
Yes.
And in any of the 4 directions,
No, it's rotating. Right.
plus the top, the first person to make a row of 4 wins.
On the top was that?
So you can do it on the top,
Or along any
or
of the edges?
any of the edges, and the edges don't have to be.
Okay.
When you look at it through one of the planes, you imagine that the algorithm that calculates 4 in a row is only aware of the plane, so it doesn't count depth in at all.
Okay.
Right,
So whichever one is closest. To
so
that.
if you had 2 blocks and then or 3 blocks rather, and then the 4th one was 2 or 3 blocks closer to you, that would still be a 4 in a row. in that
That's
plane.
interesting.
Right. So basically, when you tilt it up and look at it, if you get 4 in a row,
So a little bit
even if
like
they're not all in a straight
little bit
line,
like
But
Echo
it counts the one nearest to the camera then. So if
Yeah.
like I had a block behind it that was
yes.
okay.
So you can block people by putting stuff in front of them, but obviously when you do that, you have to be careful.
how do I switch turn? Is it space?
So this is really frustrating because I like that idea. This sounds like a really cool game.
It is a really good game, but it's just that the
That was
instructions.
so badly presented.
Can you go back? There was you could, couldn't you? Block placement. There you are. Move with WASD, rotate with Q and E.
How do you place them?
The disc will turn red to indicate when you cannot confirm a move.
I don't think they tell you how to drop it.
Oh, I see. There's a. Oh, do they have to be contiguous placement? Okay.
I think they might have to be.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Right, that'll
Yeah,
do. Right,
there you
Rachel, you go.
What am I
So
moving with?
confused.
Was-
So rotating is quite a good idea as well.
So
Can I move?
that moves the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a
Okay,
really
okay,
it's a
okay.
really nice idea for a puzzle game, and it works really well.
What colour am
And
I?
it's an absolute
blue.
brain bender. And also, what's interesting is you can't rotate in 3 dimensions. You can only rotate around the kind of the Y
What I
axis.
can't tell is
Weird.
So
those-
So you
So
can't
when you-
rotate down.
no, and in fact the random element.
I think that's intentional. Like,
Yes,
oh wait,
yeah,
are the blocks random? Or are they always like this?
No,
where-
the
Oh,
block
no,
the
I've got
block
blue
has a
on top
random
now.
orientation.
That sounds.
And to me, that's the only element about this that because you don't quite know what the next block's going to be,
Yeah, that should.
it makes it very difficult to plan, and it makes it a bit more reactive. But then you might argue that's okay. It's more of a reactive game, more of a tactical game than a strategic game, isn't it?
Yeah, perhaps.
So,
But
yeah.
I mean, that means like you could randomly get every block that is red on top.
So blue player is, So you
I
could.
don't know what I'm doing.
Well, if you whiz round,
It'd be good if you could rotate it the other way as well.
you can rotate in.
You could rotate like.
Saying you're red.
You can rotate all the way around and up and down as well
in the camera, you mean, or in your?
in the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You mean
Yeah, I
rotate
mean,
the blocks.
I mean the block.
So it's blue player. So
Oh,
you've got
no.
blue. So you've got
So
blue on the
Blue's
top.
over here.
Yeah. So
That's-
you could
hang
go
on, so
there,
if you-
right?
Have you got any blue on the sides?
and now you've got 2. But then if Ricky had generated a red on the top,
and that's
he'd
the
have
thing,
won.
right? You can't block that move because you can't rotate that cube. So just if the random number generator says the next cube is blue on top,
Yeah.
you're
Then
stuffed.
yeah.
In fact, it's the same for both of them, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
unfair,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But then you could have looked ahead to get that situation, right?
How?
Well, the other thing is,
But the problem is
so
you can't control
also
you've got to block it after 2.
but you can
But is
also
that
go
the
on top,
tactics?
right? So you can now.
Ooh.
So if what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
but
so-
that doesn't help because he's blue.
Yeah, it doesn't help that.
Or rather,
Well, it
he-
does because you've got a row of 3. You could just put your blue on the top of it, and then
But
no longer a row of
I'm
3.
red. I need to stop.
So
I
you're.
need to
Yeah,
stop
so-
the blue.
To
Oh, I
stop.
see.
And there's nothing I
Oh
can
right,
do to
yeah.
stop
No, at
that.
this point, sorry, I was the wrong way around. Yeah. So at this point, you're stuffed.
Is that definitely true? Yeah, there's
Well,
nothing I
like
can
this,
do.
it doesn't matter, right? The next cube might have a red on the top.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go there.
Yeah. So that might be.
Again, this is sort of like
Yes.
taking the actual like game mechanics
Yeah.
because I like the game.
Yeah.
I think the tutorial was really badly presented, but the game itself I'm kind of into.
That tutorial could have been
So
so
you
good.
can, you
All
can
it
win
had
now,
to do
right?
was like
I don't.
Just put
that
cubes
will-
on the screen.
Going
force
there
you
will
to,
win.
like force you
That'll
towards
be
a
4
situation.
in a row. Won't
That will
it?
be 4 in a row there. Yeah.
So is that?
Yeah,
Is that
so you
okay.
win.
So yeah.
Okay, right.
One last
Point of this should definitely show you which
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
it's completed.
And that was my comment. The
Like,
expo was that
Yeah.
Was that it doesn't
like,
show
doesn't even
you-
get to a right
yeah.
angle.
Yeah.
So we talked about that in the expo, and I think they thought that was a good idea, and may have done it if they'd had a bit more time.
Can it be a tie? Like there could
Yeah,
be a
presumably,
situation
presumably.
where
Yeah.
Rachel
Yeah,
could have
could-
put one
So if
there,
I'd have been
and
putting
that
it-
could have been 4 reds.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
entirely feasible, isn't it?
Like,
Okay, so let's go through this. So in terms of the quality, bugs, does it work? Mechanics, I think all of that works really well. Actually,
Yeah.
very
So
slick.
It's
other
a-
than that one mechanic where the top is randomly generated, I think that's a poor mechanic. If it was either always your colour
yes.
or all the cubes were the same and you can rotate them
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on any axis, I think that'd be fine. The fact that it's random, I
Yeah.
really dislike in this game. But
Yeah.
otherwise, like the game itself is super polished and nice. I really
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah.
It looks good. It's well thought through. The size of the board is good. That I mean, you've all played that. That's interesting. You played all in that one plane, but actually you very quickly, I think, watching other people play it, they were immediately going up to the higher levels, and that gives you extra levels of complexity and stuff. It's very nice. In terms of dynamic, so clearly it's a spatial reasoner.
Yeah.
And it's really well focused, I think, on that. You know, it knows what it is, and it's absolutely going for that.
Yeah.
No scope
Um,
creep in this. It's just like
no.
place a block, put the colours in the
Yeah.
right order.
So I think this is where that criticism about the randomness comes in, though, because you know how well do the mechanics support that, and the fact you've got that random element in there means that actually you are.
It means
You-
you struggle to reason over it, right?
A
Yeah.
game that's about
Yeah.
strategy, like, is
But this is what I
completely
mean.
removed.
Arguably, what it does is it stops it being a strategic game, and it makes it more of a tactical game, in that you have
Yeah.
to react to what you've got. So, but
There's not enough
but
space
I would
to
argue-
react.
I think it's a reasonable decision, but I think in this case they would have been better not doing it that way. I think it would have been better than. But even so, you get meaningful play.
Oh,
You can
Yeah.
definitely play. So level design and the particularly the tutorial element.
No.
Yeah, it's way off.
So much
I was
opportunity.
amazed that they didn't just take you through some basic block placements.
Yeah.
Sort of start you off with a semi-populated
Yeah, exactly.
grid,
Yes.
and then ask you to achieve certain goals.
It's quite a simple game.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like
even just having those like 7 slides, but with a picture of the board next to it,
Yeah.
would have been better.
Just to show you examples. So, for example, I noticed when you were reading the tutorial, you didn't know what it meant by block.
Yeah.
The word block, like you had no idea that it meant one of these things with one of 3 colours on the
Yeah.
sides and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think they could have done something much more graphical,
Yeah.
taking you through the process in a much more straightforward way. Yeah, so a shame really. I think this is an example of a really nice game that
But it's,
they just haven't thought about the tutorial
I'm
element.
so
Really.
Yeah.
disappointed by that tutorial. Actually. I really am.
And it's a shame because it's a cracking puzzle game, I think.
yeah.
Okay, let's
last
move
one.
on. That was our last one. So we'll be back in another video with another 5 games.